Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 297.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you are new here, please say hi in the comments.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and X.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon. That way, every single time we start a brand new week, you'll be alerted to it. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. Still up here at the farm. Now, welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. We do it live as much as possible. And we basically, in this episode, we like to go through our social media and answer questions and comments from the last week, as well as celebrate subscribers. So if you're new here, if you ever have a question or anything like that, go over to our Mighty Networks or our Facebook group. Mighty Networks is the best place, members.twocrazyketos.com. And sign up. It's a free community. We do have some paid options for people who want to support us, which we greatly appreciate. This is our full-time job. So what you'll do is just leave a comment there, and then we pick it up for Monday. Now, if you're new here, the way we do this is we're going to go through all of the questions and stuff. We don't really pay attention to the chat too much till the very end, so hold off to the last 10 or 15 minutes if you have a question, or use the super chat function down below. Now, I did want to say before we even get started, today's episode of Keto Beyond the Couch is sponsored by Perfect Keto.
Woohoo!
Perfect Keto has some great products that we love. Probably our favorite products they have is that they have their Nola bars, as well as their MCT oil powder, which we really do like their MCT oil powder. If you're looking to get a little bit of MCTs, they use a good fiber to bind it to. They use gum acacia. Again, that goes back to that maltodextrin issue. Like, less quality MCT oils will bind to maltodextrin. Perfect Keto is binding to gum acacia, so we really do like their products. They're giving us their early Black Friday sale.
I like that.
Starting today, you can access their Black Friday sale through our special link. The link is down below. Now, if you just go to the website, you're not going to be able to access the Black Friday sale. You have to use the link down below. That web page is going to be blocked. It's going to be password protected. So down below in the description next to the link is the code to unlock the early Black Friday sale.
How fun!
You also use that same code to get up to 50% off of whatever you want from Perfect Keto. It's based on how many items you buy.
This has always been our once a year stock up. Time is that Black Friday time, and you're going to see us talk about a lot of different companies in this season because the sales are just so good.
Yeah, now one thing I want to say is that different companies, when it comes to Black Friday, they do let everybody know what their Black Friday deals, and they let influencers know Black Friday deals at different times. Certain ones have rules where you can't tell anybody what it is until Black Friday. Other ones you can let people know early. So we'll make a video, but the best thing to do if you want to really stay on top of what the best Black Friday deals are in the keto space, go to our Mighty Networks group, members.twocrazyketos.com, and sign up, because we will always post as soon as we know a Black Friday deal that we can release to you. We'll let you know in there. Like right now, the Tasty Air Fryer is giving you an extra $5 off with our coupon code 2crazyketos, as well as an extra year warranty, a cookbook, and a little gift kind of thing. So whenever we know different ones, we will let you guys know. But for Perfect Keto, that's down below. That is good for the early Black Friday sale. Please go ahead and use it if you're looking for some Perfect Keto products. We really appreciate Perfect Keto for supporting Two Crazy Ketos. We appreciate you guys for supporting the sponsors who do support Two Crazy Ketos. Are you ready to get into everything?
I am
any
ready
special announcements
to get started. Like I love you. I don't know if anybody's told you that yet today, but I just want you to know that you are very much loved. And I was thinking this morning about, you know, how you start a new week and you're like, boy, I want this week to have strength in it. I want to feel strong. I want to be resolved in my plans for this week. I want to stick to my meal plan. I want to stick to my workout schedule. We think we want to make sure that this week has joy. We would like it to have joy. We would like it to have optimism in it. And I think about that, like it's here for the taking.
Yep.
Right? The decision to enjoy your life, to cultivate joy, to have that strength. We've got it. It's been provided for us. But I think of it like we've provided jackets for our little children and hats for their little children. And if you've ever put a hat on a toddler, what do you find that you have to do throughout the day? Keep putting that hat on, right? Keep zipping up that jacket. Why? Because when the first thing happens that upsets the apple cart, the first circumstance that we're faced with, we strip that off.
Yeah.
We immediately like take off that jacket of strength and resolve and joy and humor about stuff, and we just take it off and sling it and throw it. We have to be at least as good parenting ourselves, I think, as we do with our children. We know, hey, you've got to keep this hat on. You've got to keep this jacket on. It's going to keep you protected from the elements of this day. So I think it's really important that this day, this week, we're being very intentional. You want joy, you want to continue having satisfaction, police that in yourself. Like zip that jacket back up. You've got what it takes to be responsible, but you may have to resecure yourself through the day.
So let's get right into Keto Beyond the Couch. We're going to start off with this post from Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
It said, my aunt in Michigan just sent this to me. I thought of y'all. It says, rest is not idle, is not wasteful. Sometimes rest is the most productive thing you can do for your body and soul.
Wow, Carrie, that is such a good reminder.
I need that reminder.
It's hard for us to kind of live that out. Yesterday, we actually, and I was so thankful for it, we stopped what we were doing and we went to church yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, we've been for the last couple of weeks when we're here thinking, well, there's just so much work to do. There's not enough hours or daylight in the day to do it.
Still trying to find a church that we want to attend.
Every single morsel of energy has to be for this project. And I can't be lazy about this and go try to like attend a church service. Like we're gonna waste like a couple of precious hours. We'll get to the rest. We'll get to like going back to in-person church later when all of this is over. But what I have found is there's never going to be a good time for rest.
Right.
Ever.
No,
right? There's more work to do.
A sabbatical.
You have to.
Yep. Next one we have is from Trish.
Hey, Trish.
Trish said we had our first meetup of the Western New York, Southern Ontario Ketos today. What a fantastic time of community. And you see there's Trish and Terry and the whole gang there.
Lori,
and I love this. I absolutely love seeing our community get together in little local communities.
I am going to cry because this is the desire of my heart. So much is to help in some way, if in some little way, some little measure, we have helped to facilitate opportunities for people to meet one another and then encourage them that they have what it takes to be that friend, to begin that meetup. Just like we say, there's never going to be a perfect day for rest. There's never going to be a perfect day to reach out for friendship. You don't know how you're going to be met. But when people take the chance, look what beauty happens. I'm so proud of Trish, of Terry, the whole gang, Lori, everybody that's meeting up and saying, you know what? I know this is a busy season, but I believe that investing in community is going to help my journey. It's going to help my life. I love that so much.
Okay, first comment we have is from Angela.
Hey, Angela.
I said, I have a win to share.
Yay.
From August 5th to November 9th, I actually gained 2 pounds, but I lost 1¼ inches off of my waist and 2¼ inches off of my hips. Then this morning I weighed and I actually lost 3.5 pounds. So I think great win to keep up with measurements and not focus just on the weight.
Wow. I feel like, yes, can everybody, if you're frustrated at all, if you have any layer of frustration, can you do us a favor and find, like Angela did, some other thing to focus on besides the pounds on the scale? We are missing the joy of life only focused on one metric.
Yeah.
Truly. When we don't even know what it all means.
Let's take a quick fade to black.
Well, Angela's comment stayed up, but...
That's okay. So some people ask why we do the fade to black, because if we don't, YouTube will put a commercial every 5 minutes.
Right.
That's why we do that.
We decide or they decide.
So let's move on to the first comment. So I blocked out this user's name. I just put their user thing, but I didn't actually go and put their actual name.
Wow.
It says, the lighting is bad on this. This is referring to last week's Keto Beyond the Couch. Rachel has big shadows on her neck. Looks like she has a beard.
I do have a beard, so...
And the light reflecting off of Joe's dome looks like horns. Listen, we're doing the best we can.
We are doing the best we can.
We are living in an RV.
Yes.
Working on a house 10 to 12 hours a day so that we can move into this house. We are trying to find just 2 days to get back to Fort Lauderdale to clean so we can put it on the market. Forget packing. Just make it presentable so that the real estate agent can take pictures. We're doing the best we can, and so I'm sorry if the video quality isn't as it normally is. Even my editing, I'm doing everything on a laptop as opposed to my big Mac studio with 3 different screens. And so we're sorry if our production quality isn't up to somebody's standards, but we're doing the best we can living in RV. We're still trying to bring you videos. We're still trying to create recipe videos. As a matter of fact, we just bought a little hot plate so that we can maybe do stuff here instead of over on the stove, but I don't have overhead cameras. It's very different. Our goal, once we actually can live in the house, is to build another outbuilding, like a shed, that will be an exclusive studio, and then we can get back into doing more normal videos.
I think if you're looking for cinematography experts, perfect people, you're on the wrong spot. We're not that. We are painfully average people doing the best that we can, hoping that we can be a blessing to whoever needs encouragement.
Yeah. And this is our full-time job. Believe me, I want the best possible quality, and
Sure.
I want to be able to have more vlog videos, but it takes a lot of time. People don't realize, like, when we do a vlog video, forget the filming part of it, but the editing part, it could take 7 or 8 hours for a 30-minute video to edit it and put it together and everything else. I saw somebody said that we are just defending ourselves against trolls. Probably, but after a while it gets to you and you feel like this is the best way to just kind of let people know. And I know some people don't. There's new people that are going like, well, this is it. Well, they don't know our situation, that we're living in an RV right now. This is a very small, cramped space to be trying to run a business, live in, and keep somewhat clean as we do construction on a house. We finally have all the sheetrock up in our bedroom and in our living room. So
look at that.
We do have a vlog coming for you where you can see our progress so far. And our hope is, now that we're doing the sheetrock, things are moving along pretty quickly. It's just that, like, I'm not very good at tape and spackle, so that's going to take a little bit of time.
I think that, since we took that moment to talk about stuff, hopefully it can be a blessing to you in your life. We're going into the holiday gathering time. Everybody is not going to be encouraging exclusively. There are going to be some people who have, like, notes for you, as this person clearly has notes for us. They have notes for you. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do if you go to that Thanksgiving gathering and somebody doesn't celebrate the way that you eat? I think that you have to decide to move forward regardless of their permission and all of this. We certainly understand that there's always that desire to give up. There's that desire to crumble, to get yourself into a fetal position, put the blankets back over your head and just forget it because you feel like unsupported or you don't feel like you're pleasing everybody. My advice would be abandon that desire to please everyone because it's just not possible and you're going to bang your head against the wall needlessly.
I want to say to that person, if you don't like the production quality, I'd be happy to accept the $10,000 donation so that I can buy
a studio
instead of have to build it myself, because that's the difference of me build it myself for $2,000 to $3,000 or just go buy a shed from the guy down the street, which will be 10 grand. I don't have 10 grand. So if you want to donate $10,000 to us, I'd be happy to have our studio within a week.
We will happily accept that.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, I just wanted to say, I saw this ridiculous article. We're right now reading a book called, I actually forget the exact title of the book, but it's basically how to love people who are hard to love.
Ever experienced that kind of thing?
And I saw this article from a very reputable newspaper magazine.
Okay.
Talking about Thanksgiving coming up, and that recent polls and interviews have showed that 25% of Americans are going to choose to not go home to Thanksgiving because they're upset with them about the overall climate in America right now.
Wow.
They don't want to be around their family.
Ugh. Do not allow anything to rob you of
find something else
your
to talk
family.
about.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the labor it took to have your kids, the raising of those kids, the times that you spent maybe riding a bicycle with cousins that maybe you're not on the same page with everything, but you can remember a time when you could just spend a day together skipping stones at the lake and you just enjoyed that time. Like, find a reason. Please do not let anything rob you of this family that you are so blessed to have, because there's somebody out there right now who's lonely, who would love to have the crazy, flawed family that you have with all of its scrapes and bruises. There's somebody right now that their soul would cry out for just somebody.
Family is community.
Somebody to belong to.
Yeah. So, okay, next one we have. We read that one. That's the troll person. Next one's from Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
Does Keto Chow have a Black Friday sale besides the mystery flavor? Depending on another order now or wait, I'm worried I'll kick myself if I order and then there is a sale. So Keto Chow does have Black Friday sales. As you saw, they have a mystery flavor thing they usually do every year. I know that Chris is kind of doing a little bit of trolling right now. They do have a Black Friday sale. Unfortunately, we can't tell you what it is.
It's sardines.
The best thing to do, again, sign up for our Mighty Networks, get onto our Facebook group, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell button so that you're notified, because when we put up things right away, and as soon as we can tell you what it is,
fish layer lasagna,
we will let you know. We appreciate it if you guys use our link, because again, like I said, this is our job. That does help support us, and it doesn't cost you a penny. But what I would say is, just, if you want to be honest, sorry, I think Chris is on here, I'd wait. Don't buy anything. Wait for Black Friday.
It's going to be exciting. You know, I never dreamed that they would try to have a chitlins flavor. But here they are. Special mystery
Peanut
flavor.
Butter and jelly.
And chitlins.
Nice. Next one is from Barry.
Hey, Barry, I'm fully carnivore and eat almost nothing that is not animal-based except for the occasional jalapeno. I joined the Levels Health Group and wearing a CGM. It shows my glucose stays between the 70s and 90s for the most part. I feel like we read this one already.
Nope, it's a different one.
My blood panel shows most of my numbers are in the acceptable ranges, except for my fasting insulin is 17.8. Normal should be below 7. I also purchased a Keto Mojo glucose ketone meter, and that shows my glucose is about what the CGM says, but my ketones are only between a 0.5 and 0.9. I've been carnivore for over a year with a few times going off the wagon, but not since July. I'm not losing any weight, and I'm trying to figure out why. I'm guessing it would have to do with my high fasting insulin level keeping my liver from producing more ketones. I did do a 72-hour sardine fast, as mentioned by someone here, and my ketones went from a 0.5 to a 0.9. I was expecting more.
Okay, so Barry, and this is for anybody living, but especially for Barry. I know we talked a little about this last week. Stop focusing on ketones, okay? More ketones does not mean you're going to lose weight.
No.
Okay? It has nothing to do with it. When you're checking your ketones in your blood, those are leftover ketones that your body's not currently using.
Unemployed ketones.
Okay? That's all that is. there's no reason to have high ketones. You don't need it. It just means your body's not using them. That's all that is. The longer you are on keto or carnivore, and you're saying you've been carnivore for a year, the lower those numbers are going to be, unless you're eating an extremely high amount of fat to protein ratio, or you're pretty much not eating. Because basically, listen, ketosis or ketogenesis is your body's way of not dying. That's literally what it is.
Great job.
If you're not eating, your body will use the fat on your body to create ketones to use for fuel. But as we're doing this more and more, your body gets very efficient where it doesn't even need to turn it into ketones. It can use the free fatty acids directly as a fuel. But those are just leftovers. Don't focus on having high ketones. You actually don't want to have high ketones if you're trying to lose weight. Even if you're talking about Keto Mojo, if you go under their little GKI scale, look at where it says the GKI should be if you're trying to lose weight. It's a very different number than if you're doing keto for therapeutic brain health. Okay, so that's number one. Your insulin will come down. You've got to give it time. But the biggest thing to do with insulin is make sure you're not eating a bunch of times a day. Every time you put something in your mouth, whether it be one almond or a half a strip of bacon or one egg, your body will produce insulin. No matter what the food is. Yes, some foods will produce more insulin than others, but whatever you eat, your body will produce insulin. You need insulin. Okay, you're not trying to stop insulin completely.
Right.
You're trying to control how many times a day you're going to release insulin. 2 to 3 times is good. So if you're eating 2 to 3 times and then every time you walk past the refrigerator like me and you grab a string of cheese,
that's a meal.
That's a meal. The average American eats over 20 meals a day when you look at it that way. So if you put a stick of gum in your mouth, you're having a meal, especially because most gum is sweetened with xylitol, which will create an insulin effect, okay? You cannot lose weight in the presence of insulin. That's why we want to control the amount of times we have insulin. What I would tell you is if you're really struggling to lose weight, I would suggest setting up a coaching call with us. We need to figure out what is going on, because it's probably, if you're really only eating carnivore, it's not an issue with your body's not producing ketones. If you're eating carnivore and not consuming carbohydrates, that's part of it, but it's not the only way to lose weight. Like, you can eat perfect keto and carnivore and never lose weight because there's other factors: stress, movement, sleep. Also, how much are you eating? What is your history of dieting? Are you only eating 1,200 calories or 1,400 calories a day? Are you eating 4,000 calories? You can do perfect carnivore, but if you're eating more fat than your body requires, you're not going to lose weight. And that's what we have to look at. And depending on how much you're eating and how long you've been eating that amount, you either need to reduce the amount you're eating, or you need to increase a little bit at a time and do a reverse diet. But sardine fast and stuff, they're not going to help you lose weight. You know, you'll lose weight for a day, but you're going to gain it right back. All the sardine fast is going to do is help you to eliminate a bunch of stuff. And honestly, 3 days isn't really that much. You can get a quick boost of ketones, but it's not a long living thing or anything like that.
Right.
But that's what I would advise. But stop focusing on ketones. Ketones have nothing to do with your weight loss. Next one is from Janice.
Hey Janice, what are some keto recipes for Starbucks coffee? First, I want to say happy birthday to Janice. I hope you had a great birthday and
almost retirement.
Almost retirement. We're so stinking excited for you, Janice. Well, I absolutely love, honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind is our recipe for keto chow creamer. That's the first step for me, because of the fact that keto chow comes with so many different flavors. You can begin there. That's why we made a coffee line, so that, you know, you think you go into that you are confronted with like caramel macchiato. Can I make an Irish cream? Can I make you a chai latte? Can I make you something with butterscotch in it? You know, so there's lots of varieties, and I can begin there building a coffee flavored drink or a shake from there.
Yeah. Now, I was kind of taking this question is what can I order in Starbucks?
Oh, okay.
If that's the case, if you want me to be honest, not much. Okay. So you can get their teas, but pretty much all of their syrups have sugar in them. Okay. Most of their creamers are horrible. More and more Starbucks, and the best thing to do is go on the app or call them and ask, do carry heavy cream. Most of them do not do the butter thing. But they will, a lot of them are carrying heavy cream. Pretty much, when you go to Starbucks, you're restricted to coffees, espressos, ask for heavy cream, and they have sugar-free vanilla, and some of them have sugar-free caramel, but pretty much sugar-free vanilla is the thing. But I would say 95% of the Starbucks drinks are kind of off limits on keto. There's no way to make them keto because of the ingredients they're using them. Like a lot of them use the classic syrup, which is actually loaded with sugar. All of their frappuccinos, listen, they're designed to make you addicted to them. They're designed to hit that bliss point to make you want one every day. How do I know? Because we did it. Prior to keto, we each spent $7 a day on Starbucks drinks.
Well, and it's interesting to me sometimes where I will talk to people. Janice is not one of those people, but I'm saying there's people that I will talk to and they will want to get granular when it comes to what is in that hot dog, what is in that sausage, what is in that dressing, or they want us to go and like beat up some restaurant or something. But when it comes to a beverage, it's like a free-for-all.
Right.
You know, it's almost like if I drink it, it doesn't count. But I think that we do drink so much. And certainly if you're somebody like me who enjoys a caffeinated beverage, there's so much coffee that we drink that I think that that's the place where you start to clean up your act a little bit.
I did want to say thank you very much to Trish.
Hey, Trish.
For the $5 super chat, said on behalf of Ola's strength.
Oh,
that is awesome.
wow.
Thank you very much, Trish.
That is awesome.
Next one is from Rita.
Hey,
okay,
Rita.
I've had a bad couple of days. How do you handle the impulsiveness of eating? I don't really have cravings per se, but I will impulsively eat something if I see it over and over again. Ugh. When I do, I feel guilty about it and I want to give up on everything. Okay, so as far as impulsive eating, what I do is I try to distract myself with something else. What about you?
Well, for me, for impulsiveness, if I know that I have an issue with something, then I need to work to be more present. I need to be less reactionary. So I don't know. I actually answered this, Rita shared this in my networks. If you're going into a room and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to find in this room. Maybe you're going into your workplace and you're like, I don't know what holiday treats are going to be out on the counter at the receptionist desk, right? I don't know what I'm walking into. Certainly this is a season for that. You're trying to handle what you can handle on the inside of you, not what the other people are going to do. You can't make other people not bring in things that might tempt you. You've got to be ready for the temptation. So I like to try to do things, say things to myself that help me, remind me to be more present in the moment. So I will find myself in my case, and this is what I shared with her, I'm very bad about like letting coffee get away from me, right? Because it's just so easy. If there's the temptation is there, but do I need it? If every single time I'm consuming some calories, whether it's like the coffee and the creamer and a sweetener or something, a meal is happening, right? I'm in the midst of a meal and I certainly can have like 7 meals a day of coffee. So I have to, when I walk into a room, into even the RV where our Nespresso is, I will say out loud, hey, Rachel, I see you are heading towards the coffee. Is this what you want to do? Do you need this? Do you want this? Like, what is happening right now? Because if I don't call it out, and that book, Atomic Habits, is great for helping you practice that thing, you got to point out and call out those things that you have trouble with.
Next one is from Denise.
Hey, Denise.
I'm working on a Thanksgiving meal. It's just me and my husband, and we didn't want to do a big bird, and even breasts are too big. The past couple of years, I've done bacon wrapped tenderloin. I was just wanting something different. My husband came up with an awesome idea. Cornish hens in the air fryer. I'm going to use my mock Mardi Gras seasoning from Publix. that they use on their wings. That is a good idea.
That is a fantastic idea. Cornish game hens were something that my mom put on my radar, and I have since like really enjoyed, especially because it does fit in the air fryer, even the tasty air fryer. They're inexpensive, and you know, a lot of times they come in like a 2-pack or a 3-pack. They're very affordable, and yeah, they're delicious. They crisp up fantastically because of their sheer size. And if you like butter those suckers, and yeah, you can either make a mock Mardi Gras wing seasoning, or Publix actually sells it. You could go right to the deli counter and say, I would like to order some just the seasoning blend, and they'll give that to you.
Next one is from Marlissa.
Hey, Marlissa.
My son and I are at Dollywood this week. Yesterday we hiked to Cataract Falls and Fighting Creek Nature Trail, all together about 2 miles. I needed 3 miles to earn a certificate for a dragonfly challenge. I'm working on balance, so this was a true challenge. My son suggested that I walk around the visitor center parking lot in order to achieve the 3-mile goal. That is awesome. Nice. I'm so proud of you, Marlissa. Marlissa actually just recently signed up. She's going to be going on the 2KK birthday cruise next year. Oh my goodness.
We're so excited for that. And yes, and don't you love this beautiful moment? Well, first of all, like mother and son, like hanging out together is just such a precious opportunity. And that together, your son helped you brainstorm a solution to a goal that you had for yourself. I love that.
And just a reminder for the 2KK birthday cruise, it is next year, December 4th through December 8th, Freedom of the Seas out of Miami. We're celebrating my 55th birthday, but more it's about community. If you are interested in coming, the cabins are super cheap. I think an inside cabin is under $800 for 2 people.
Hello.
An ocean view balcony is like $1,030 for, again, 2 people. If you want to bring more than 2 people, we have to do whatever the current prevailing rate is, or we get 2 cabins and then put 1 person like just by themselves, and that reduces the price a little bit. So depends on how you want to do it. Also, if you're interested in coming and you want to do like a cruise either before or after, do a back-to-back so that you're not only coming in for a 4-night cruise, I can help you out with that. Just email me at 2kktravel@gmail.com. Let's take a quick fade to black real quick.
And we're back. I was hungry this morning, Joe.
You were. You got up like early.
I got up really early. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I am done with like what are the rules of the day. So I was like, I am really hungry. I had at like 6 o'clock this morning for breakfast, I had probably an 8-ounce like steak. I had an avocado, and I had some Greek yogurt with flaxseed on it.
I had a chocolate keto chow.
I was hungry.
Gloria, thank you very much for the $10 super chat.
Thanks,
said happy you were both being blessed with so much. Love you both. Thank you very much, Gloria.
Love you.
And again, before we move on, just a reminder, if you guys are getting any value out of our content, please make sure you go hit the subscribe button down below, hit that bell notification, use one of our links if you're looking to purchase something, or maybe pick up one of our t-shirts on our Amazon store. We greatly appreciate it. Next one we have is from Julie.
Hey, Julie.
I have been doing keto for 3 years. I started carnivore beef, butter, bacon, and egg November 1st. I had plans with a friend yesterday. We also decided to see a movie. We go to the theater a couple times a year, and I've chosen to eat popcorn on those occasions. Before keto, I used to eat popcorn several times a week. Me too. So eating it a couple times a year was okay with me. Well, yesterday I told her about my new challenge and that I was not eating popcorn. We enjoyed the movie and then went for a walk and dinner. Stayed on plan. A win for me.
That is awesome. I'm really proud of you both for your attitude towards things like, hey, you've got things that are okay for yourself, and I think that that's a really good standard when you're talking about, I enjoy popcorn and it's a couple of times a year. It's not like a couple of times a day or week or that sort of thing. But in this instance, you saw that you had a unique challenge for yourself that has a very short time frame. You're not triple B and E for life. You're right. Triple B and E for this season that you set yourself up for. So, and you alerted your friend to it. And I love the fact that there wasn't like, what do you mean you're not having popcorn? Like your friend supported you and you had a good time together. It wasn't the food. It was the friendship.
Next one's from Adriana.
Hey, Adriana.
Hello, everyone. This is rough. I'm going through some rough times. I was checking my thyroid with an endocrinologist, and she sent me a lipid panel test, not fasting, and saw my numbers. Cholesterol 325, FHDL 85, triglycerides 63, DL cholesterol 224. She put me to crying, saying that I have to be in, y'all know what medication, for the rest of my life, and then I'm going to have a heart attack anytime. I'm so scared. Please advise me. My fasting test in August was A1C 5.6, C-peptide 1.8. I think we mentioned this on Thursday. Maybe you left a comment on Thursday during the live stream. I think the numbers are good. Again, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. I would really encourage you to go check out Dave Feldman's work. Check out the videos from Dr. Boz, from Dr. Berry, from Dr. Sivas, from Dr. Hampton, like doctors who can speak more to insulin, who are physicians and healthcare providers. But for me, the number that is more important is your triglycerides and your HDL and your triglyceride to HDL ratio. If you can get them 1-to-1, great. If you can get a more HDL than triglycerides, that's even better. But a healthy triglyceride would be under 150, and yours are what, 63? Like that, you're doing phenomenal. You're doing phenomenal. I mean, you're already, your HDL is higher than your triglycerides. That is great. Again, if you do your own research, you will find people who live the longest have the highest cholesterol.
Right.
And that we're demonizing cholesterol. And I'm not saying cholesterol is like having, like, high cholesterol is horrible, but if that is great, but I'm saying that it's not the end all and be all that people want to think it is. And you have to look at everything else. You have to look at where are all your other numbers. If all of your other numbers are great, I would not be worrying about cholesterol. I know, I look at Rachel. Rachel has had cholesterol over 500. If you go back to after beef, butter, bacon, and egg, and then we sat down live with Dr. Sivas, who literally analyzed our blood work and gave us his medical opinion on that video about our blood numbers and said, you guys are ridiculously healthy. Even though her cholesterol was over 500. I think your LDL was like over 250 or 300, if I remember right.
I'm a gold medal winner at cholesterol. But
she's healthy.
That's the thing too. How is your mobility? How are you feeling? Are you able to get through your day? Like, what's your stamina like? What are you feeling? Like, I think that we don't take that into account sometimes. We come back from that doctor's appointment. You're like, when I went into that doctor's appointment, I felt so good and happy and optimistic, and I'm leaving it thinking, well, that's it. I might as well like go pick out a casket. But like, I think that is, what they are doing the best they can with the information they've been given. They've been told cholesterol is the be all to end all. So that's what they're moving forward with. Gloria, thank you so much.
I read that before.
Oh, okay.
Carolyn said, I saw Dr. Ello, cardiologist, berating keto doctors about LDL recently. Then saw Dr. Westman critique Dr. Ello. I felt so much better. It gave me some reassurance. Yeah,
we need that.
Let's look at motives behind things too. Next one is from Marie.
Hey, Marie.
I want to start the Primal Health Coach program. Can I hear what people think of it? I've taken nutrition courses at our community college as well. I'm debating on which route to take now. So I would suggest if you're looking to take something to really learn about the primal diet, I went through the Primal Health course. I also did the Master Coaching course. I know Nisha did. Mm-hmm. So did, I believe, if I remember right, Kim Howerton. Like, several people in the keto space have gone through it. I agree with 98% of what they teach in the Primal Health course. They do talk about some fruits and stuff, but when you look at the overall, like, I'm okay with what they're talking about. But you will, about 98% of it falls right in line with a keto carnivore type of lifestyle. I don't think you're going to find a better course out there because a lot of the health and nutrition courses spout other stuff.
Right.
Or they're just some nonsense thing that's trying to collect money. Like, what I like about the Primal course is you're going to get a lot of information on how to, on like your overall health and movement and stress management and how it all plays together. There is a little bit on if you want to do coaching as a business. There's a little bit on how to actually coach people. If you want to coach people, then my suggestion is also take the master course. The master course is timed. You have to do it within a certain time frame because there's a lot of live things. But that's going to really teach you the nitty gritty on how to communicate and coach people. But the regular primal course will give you just a lot of nutrition. If you just want to learn the nitty gritty about nutrition, especially eating a more primal type diet, that is a great course. When you speak with them, let them know that you heard about it and that Krazy Keto sent you. And I believe they have a discount that they'll give you because we sent you.
Right.
I don't know how much it is because it's not something we really ever promote, but I know that they have something if you tell them we sent you. Next one's from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
Quick question. I started using Keto Brains and I love it. I was thinking about doing a beef, butter, bacon, egg challenge again. It's not beef, butter, bacon, egg. Would affect my outcomes if I continue to use them. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So first of all, what is beef, butter, bacon, egg?
Beef, butter, bacon is going to be beef, which would be ruminant animals.
Right.
Butter, which is any animal fat. So it's not just like butter from a cow, but like duck fat, that sort of stuff, animal fat. Beef, butter, bacon is bacon. And you can extend that a little bit to like pork, like a, not necessarily sausage, but like a pork chop or something. Yeah. And then eggs is eggs. And again, any type of eggs. We actually saw emu eggs recently. If you would have wanted to have emu eggs, you can do that.
One egg is like a dozen chicken eggs.
Suspension of sweeteners and one coffee experience a day is usually what we recommend. So that's a pretty strict form of it. I'm going to give my view on this and then you can weigh in on what you think. I'm going to say if that is the only thing and you're like, I feel like I'm getting a lot of benefits from this particular creamer in my one coffee experience a day, I would say have at it. If you're the type of person who, I forgot who was the star of that show, that movie that we watched, Fatso, where it started out with, I would just like a cup of water and then with lemon, with this, with that. Is it like going to be a gateway? If the first time you get special permission to add in something else, it becomes the gate that opens and the floodgate of other things come in because you got permission for one thing, so you get permission for all the things. Then no, then I'm going to say no to that. But if you're somebody that no, truly, this is the only extra thing I want to add is a little bit of creamer once a day in my coffee experience, I'm going to say go for it.
Okay, so first of all, beef, butter, bacon, egg, we helped Dr. Barry with it several years ago. I think it's like over 3 years ago. And it really stemmed from, at the time, so many people were doing like PSMF and demonizing. You saw a lot of demonization of protein.
Fat.
And of fat, rather, within the keto space, where everyone was eating very high protein, low fat. And I talked to Dr. Barry about how it was concerning me.
Got scary.
Because that results in increased glucose. It results in major stalls because you're not giving yourself a bunch of fat and your body needs the fat if you're not consuming carbohydrates. So we came up with the idea where we would do beef, butter, bacon, and egg for 45 days and show the results and then actually have somebody analyze our labs, which we were talking about with Dr. Sivas. And we did that. Beef, butter, bacon, egg really is designed to be an elimination diet to really help narrow down what is affecting you on your body. Because pretty much everything on there is almost impossible to binge.
Anti-inflammatory.
And they're all anti-inflammatory. If you don't want to eat one of them, let's say you don't eat bacon for religious purposes, you don't have to eat bacon. No. You can eat only eggs if you want. You can eat only ruminant animals if you want. It's up to you. But it's really narrowing it down to just those things and eliminating any other variable that could cause inflammation or problems in your body. So autoimmune issues and things like that. Anything you add extra kind of offsets that. Now, if you only add something like, Keto Brains, I would say only do it during a meal because, again, you're going to have an insulin reaction and I would only do one a day. But to its true heart, you're eating beef, butter, bacon, egg to eliminate everything else. And you want to do it for 30, 60, or 90 days to give your body time to detoxify from everything else. The problem is if you're having issues, what if one of the ingredients in keto brains is causing the issue?
You wouldn't know.
So my suggestion would be do beef, butter, bacon, egg for at least 2 or 3 weeks without the keto brains, and then add the keto brains and see if it affects you.
And we are going to be doing a triple B&E challenge coming up in the next couple of months. And I want to tell you, if you're somebody that's interested in joining us for that challenge, I'm going to advise you right now, start cutting back on your caffeinated beverages. The hardest, biggest obstacle to triple B&E is not only eating beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, not by a long shot. The hardest thing about triple B&E, and give me a cartwheel in the chat if this was the case for you because you've done triple B&E before, is getting yourself off of all of the caffeine you were drinking before you go into a triple B&E. I'm telling you, there are people that are like, I am absolutely ticked off on triple B&E until day 12, day 13, day 14. And that is when the massive amount of caffeine that we don't even realize we're intaking kind of like lets up.
Yeah.
But it can be very challenging if you're somebody like me and you drink a lot of caffeine and then you go to triple B&E, it's a heavy blow.
Next one's from Angelo.
Hey, Angelo.
Does carbs minus fiber really work? I want keto, but I'd like to have enough fiber in my diet. This leads us to today's topic.
Fiber.
You don't need fiber. Okay. Again, just a reminder, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. I've left a link down below for Dr. Barry about fiber.
He is a doctor.
But I'm going to say this. The whole idea that you need fiber in your diet is crap. Okay? I've done a lot of research on this. Let's talk about some of the things that they say that fiber is going to help you with, like, in that you should be eating between 25 and 40 grams of fiber a day. Going to help reduce blood sugar levels. Well, if you're on keto and you're not eating sugar, we've eliminated that problem. Helps you lose weight. Well, that's because you're eating up to 25 to 30 grams, which is about 20% of your overall food intake for the day, of food that your body can't use or process.
Right.
So you're basically eating styrofoam, but in essence, like, I mean, it's like, why do they add a bunch of corn and crap to pet food? To make it a filler. Can the dog use it? No, it just makes them poop a lot more. Mm-hmm. But they're not using anything. Perfect example. Let's be honest. Let's get a little TMI. When you eat corn, what does it look like when it comes out?
Corn.
Means your body didn't use it. It's a filler. So if you're eating a bunch of nothing that your body doesn't digest,
iceberg lettuce,
all it's doing is filling up your stomach, and therefore you eat less, therefore you will lose weight. The other big thing is they talk about is it makes you go to the bathroom. Eating too much fiber will actually constipate you. That's first of all. But the other thing is if you need to go to the bathroom, increase fat, increase salt. You do not need a bunch of fiber in your diet. There are several communities, whatever you want to call them, around the world that nobody's ever been 100% carnivore. There is no community, no civilization has ever been 100% carnivore. I know people want to think that, but they're like Inuit, Eskimos, everybody. They eat mostly meat, but they will eat berries and vegetables and fruit that they come across in the wild. But they will eat mostly meat. If they need it, if you had to have fiber, those civilizations would cease to exist.
I think that we are on the brink, and I'm excited for it, but I believe that we are on the brink of this whole entire nation reanalyzing what we eat and why we eat it. Like, we're on the brink of that. Like, change is coming. Discussion about nutrition is coming. Very, very different. You know, for us, we've been talking about it all the time, but I think the rest of the population is about to start discussing it. And when you start discussing like what you want to change, you start having to think about like, where did I come up with this belief in the first place? That's part of that untangling. And I would challenge you, if you're somebody that's like, I just can't let go of this fiber obsession, where did the fiber obsession come from? I want you to go and study the Kellogg family and their direct influence on America, particularly rich people in America, and how that they influenced the American diet and how we eat.
Now, on the other side of this, you're asking, does carbs minus fiber really work? Net carbs is a made-up thing by the food industry to sell us products. Now, it is true that fibers, your body doesn't digest them. You're not going to get any benefit out of them, which is why they say you can deduct them, and your body doesn't use them. Now, some research shows that some of your gut biome can use some of it, like, gum acacia can be used for free short-chain fatty acids and things like that. But your body overall doesn't use that fiber. It just goes right through you. Goes to the bathroom, right? And also, by the way, eating a lot of fiber will cause you to have gas and fart and bloated, and it's like there's just no reason for it. So the problem with the net carb game is companies are using this to make you buy something, and then they've got a bunch of fiber in there and they're going, you can deduct the fiber. The problem is a lot of the fibers are things like soluble corn fiber. It's not the same thing. If you want to consume a bunch of broccoli or asparagus and deduct the fiber, have at it. God made that fiber. That's a real fiber. Your body is not going to digest that. I mean, again, like if you eat asparagus or celery with all the strings and then you go poop and pull apart your poop, you find all the strings still in there because there's your fiber.
Is not a spinach leaf.
But things like soluble corn fiber and all that stuff, I would not deduct it. Number one, this way you make sure that you're not giving yourself something that your body is going to actually use for fuel, like a lot of the soluble corn fibers, not all of them, but a lot of them, and you don't know which one is in a product. And also, it helps you to control how much of that thing you're going to eat. But if you want to deduct the carbs from an actual whole food that God made, like if you eat an almond, have at it. Things like almond flour, I wouldn't, because again, you're going to overdo it. And again, it's no longer like a whole food when you do that stuff. But if you want to deduct the fiber from vegetables, I think you're fine. Any kind of a packaged product, don't deduct it. Next one is from Christine.
Hey, Christine.
I saw at Costco they have canned corned beef product produced in New Zealand. The ingredients are simple except for one that concerns me. The only ingredients are beef, salt, and sodium nitrate. It's the sodium nitrate that concerns me. In your opinion, is that something I should avoid at all costs? Or could I have this corned beef once in a while? I shouldn't be worried about it. Okay, first of all, it's just canned corned beef.
I
thought it said corned beef hash. Buy it all. Like, I want to go look for that now. So, sodium nitrate is how they preserve the meat. It's how you make bacon. If you go watch our recipe video on how to make your own bacon, you use nitrates. They're not a big deal. People want to make you think they're a huge deal. Dr. Barry's got a whole video about this. You have more nitrates and nitrates in your saliva than what you're consuming. It's part of the curing process. It's part of the preserving process. It is not a bad thing. It literally is coming from sodium. It's just not a horrible thing. So if you want to have this corned beef, especially for like a shelf-stable thing, I would absolutely not worry about it. I mean, again, bacon is going to have sodium nitrate in it. Any lunch meat is going to have sodium nitrate in it. And it's not a bad product. Almost any sausage, they're going to use something like that. It's part of the curing process. Pepperonis, all of that, that's all used. It's used in all of those kind of products.
It is so funny with corned beef. Adriana actually had on her Instagram yesterday was giving you a shout out, like reminding that, she was making some corned beef for the kids yesterday, and it is such a difference between the way it smells when you open one of those cans and what the finished product is. So when you open it up and show the kids or have them smell it, it's like, ew, this is dog food. Why would you make me eat dog food, Mom? But like once you cook it,
it's different.
It's totally different and delicious. That's so wild.
Next one's from Val.
Hey Val, so interesting you're talking about vitamins. I had to stop all my vitamins 3 days before my blood work this week. I went ahead and stopped a few days earlier than I needed to. I woke up this morning feeling great. Joints, body aches, no more. A more feeling good. 2 weeks ago, I stopped my daily antihistamine. I looked up everything I was taking. A lot of it causes joint pain and muscle aches. Even NSAIDs, even stop the bone growth process and healing. Some of these pills over the counter and under the counter just prevents your body from healing on its own.
So this is something we've talked about a lot. This is why we avoid medications as much as possible. Now, if you absolutely need something,
sure,
absolutely take it. But especially like as we're coming into cold and flu season, my suggestion like to people is like if you get a cold, or if you can power through it, I would power through it. Remember, things like cold medications, they're not getting rid of the cold. They're masking the symptoms.
Yeah.
They're making you feel better, but they're not helping you get better. Sometimes the best thing to do is just lay down, go to sleep, and fast. That's the best and easiest way to get through those cold and flus. If you can get through pain, avoid the Tylenols and stuff like that. If it's just, I think too many times we reach for these pills very easily, but the problem is
they cause inflammation.
Again, you saw this whole maltodextrin controversy. All of these products have that stuff in it.
Tons of that stuff in it.
There are so many chemicals and dextrose and maltodextrin and all of these different medications. NSAIDs, I mean, they're like, yes, they have some benefits, but they do a lot of damage too. I mean, they can cause internal bleeding. They can cause like bone growth problems like this. I would avoid them as much as possible.
Me too.
Next one is from Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Hey, Joe and Rachel, are you permanently living in your RV now? Please do tell. My favorites are vermicelli protein noodles. Unfortunately, they are pricey. Yes, we are currently living full-time in our RV. Only because we can't, like, the house in Fort Lauderdale is 2.5 hours away, so I'm not going to make that drive constantly. I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. We've already, like, racked up the mileage on 2 of the cars. But just the more we're here, the more we can work. We're hoping to be able to be in the house before Christmas. That's the goal.
I'll be home for Christmas.
It may not be done, but I mean, again, we've got 2 rooms completely sheetrocked, and I'm taping and spackling them now. And then we're moving into the kitchen is the next room. We do have a bathroom. So once we can sort of live in there, we can at least move in there and feel like we have a little bit more space.
Yes.
But, also sheetrock is a lot of dust, so you got to be a little careful with that kind of stuff. Next one is from Faye.
Hey, Faye.
Yes, more easy recipes. I use my tasty air fryer every day. It's the best investment I've made for my kitchen. Cooks beautifully, so easy to clean. Please show more videos about your new place. It's been a while since you have shown anything. I enjoy watching your progress on your new homestead. Are you still planning on having a separate channel for it? Yes.
Someday.
I would like to get that channel up probably before the end of the week or by mid next week. I just need a logo, and we have to do the intro video for it, but we have filmed a bunch of stuff for it. And again, we do have a vlog coming out this week showing our progress so far with the house.
Talking about the tasty, last night I made the most delicious and easy pork loin because again, we're working and I really don't have a lot of time to stay in the kitchen and babysit over things. Got the pork loin was like buy one get one free at Publix. It already had like herbs and spices on it. Just wrap that sucker in aluminum foil. Put it into the tasty air fryer, 360 degrees for 55 minutes. It came out, I came back to the RV smelling amazing. It was super tender. I just let it rest. I know that's hard for me to do. Like, 10 minutes, just let it rest. Came back, sliced it up. Absolutely beautiful and practically effortless on my part. I appreciate that.
And by the way, from the garlic parmesan steak recipe the other day, I know there was a problem where when you clicked on the recipe video, on the recipe in the description, it only gave you the picture. I fixed that. The recipe is now up on our website. Last one is from Anonymous.
Anonymous.
So we decided we had to bring back the nasty comment of the week.
I thought we already passed that one.
And we've eliminated this person's name.
Okay.
So this comment was on our carnivore mac and cheese video.
That was like a couple of years ago.
No, it was last year, but not even last year. But
I feel like it was longer than that.
they said, that is not going to work. Making that fake food will only make you want the real thing.
Well, what is fake about shrimp and cheese and
bacon?
What's fake about that? The fact that it's in a form that suggests that it could be macaroni and cheese like?
Yeah. So I guess what they're saying, if you're trying to make anything
keto-fied,
like maybe our meat-layer lasagna,
but you're not using,
it's going to make you want to eat regular lasagna.
That's not been my experience.
I disagree. And so here is my answer to Anonymous, which they left their name, but I'm not going to tell everybody else their name.
Okay.
This probably isn't the channel for you. And you should probably just unsubscribe, which you probably aren't anyway.
Right.
But you should probably just unsubscribe from our channel, because my belief is that when you switch to a keto carnivore lifestyle, you need to do what's sustainable for you. And for most people, eating nothing except for steak or lamb and eggs and not having anything else for the rest of their life is not sustainable. People get bored. A lot of people, right or wrong, are entertained by their food. There's a reason people, like, you have chefs that you make it tasty. You want it to look good because we eat with our eyes. And my belief is it needs to be sustainable. I do not believe there is anything wrong with taking different ingredients and mixing them together to create something else that is created out of whole foods.
Yeah. I mean, if this is something that stresses you, then I totally respect that is your experience. Yeah. It just wasn't my experience.
Our channel is about community.
Yeah.
And we try to make recipes and stuff like that. And if you can get past the fact that we're going to eat something other than just steak, and that we are not carnivores who only eat beef and salt, or lion diet, and that we occasionally have a keto product, but you can get past that, feel free to stay. But if you just want to go on to comments and constantly say that's not going to work and you're eating crap because you're mixing cheese with shrimp and bacon, just leave.
Well, I will say there's other things that we do, like how to cook the perfect omelet. We've made, like, you know, how to cook steaks and roasts, and how to make your own hot dogs and sausage and like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so there's a variety. If you want to just have like whole ingredients cooked well, not trying to masquerade as anything else, then like we also have videos for that, if that would be something you're interested in.
Yeah, so like Lisa said, it's helped me not want macaroni. My family who are not keto begged me to make it.
And that cheese sauce. Oh, that cheese sauce is like its own food group.
Yeah.
So. Now I want that cheese sauce.
Okay, let's get into some comments from the chat. I did see something, if I can find it, from Trish. She had a question, but Sherry said, has anyone had amalgam fillings removed and had mouth soreness develop? My roof of my mouth has begun hurting 24 hours after the removal of 2 fillings. I have 3 to go, postponing for now.
I'm sorry that you're going through that.
I have not had any. I don't have any left. I have 1 left, I think, but I never had that kind of an issue or anything like that. John said in the winter they would be full carnivore. They're called hunter-gatherers, but a better description is hunters and grazers because they mainly eat fruits when they find them on hunting trips.
Absolutely. That's true. That's great. Because you don't find it all the time. You know, I mean, even around the farm, we're noticing, like, you know, we're reminded once again of like flowering things and fruit and vegetables that like appear for seasons and then they're not around for a while. Like, it's when you see it, you get it.
Okay, so Trish said, how do you increase fat to help combat constipation and still lose weight? Seems like I need to eat a ton of fat to get things moving along. Check your salt. The first place you want to start is with salt. Most people are not consuming enough sodium. So the number one way your body gets rid of excess sodium is by giving you diarrhea. That is the number one way. Because what happens is as water chases salt, your body will regulate the amount of sodium that it has because it needs a certain amount. So when you have enough sodium, your body will flush out the rest. But if you're not drinking any water, it won't flush it out. That's where you get swelling. So what you want to do is make sure you're consuming enough salt and then drink a bunch of water. And you'll find if you eat a lot of salt, things will move.
Yeah.
Every time we go to a Brazilian steakhouse.
We almost can't get done with the meal.
Like, I got to go to the bathroom because
Right.
I'm eating both a lot of fat and a lot of salt. But I would, first of all, check your sodium level.
Yeah, especially if you're somebody that gets what I call like rabbit poops. The little tiny, really compact. It feels like it's just not moving well. Like a lot of times I'll increase my salt if I see that happening.
Sandy said, is there a cleaner sour mint, like icebreaker sours? My husband needs them because he has a dysfunction in his glands and not having adequate flow of saliva. He had blockages in the past.
There is that one, it's that one, it's not icebreakers, but it's like in the little tin that looks like Altoids.
I don't know.
It was on Shark Tank. I can't remember the name of it. Ice Chips.
Yeah.
Consider Ice Chips. It's a small company, but they have a variety of flavors. They do use xylitol, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So you would need to keep that little tin away from any animals in your house. We always would just put it in a high shelf. But they have, and especially like why it was brought to my mind is I know that they have a sour one. If he's just looking for like, you know, product to product replacement, that they have some good things. Check them out.
Matt said, I'd rather fill myself with fatty cuts of meat, not fiber. Juliana said, if you eat a standard American diet, you need fiber. If you eat a proper human diet, you 100% don't need it. That's absolutely true. John said, caffeine is like nicotine. It takes about a week to break the addiction. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that caffeine and nicotine are very similar. They're both stimulants. Nicotine in itself is not horrible. I mean, it's like about the same as caffeine. Problem with nicotine is the delivery devices. But so when people look at nicotine as bad, and then they forget caffeine is the same thing. It is a stimulant that we do get addicted to.
Right.
Matt said fiber is believed to have one benefit, but I can get the same benefit from fat and salt.
And it's again, I really highly recommend people look into the Kellogg family and like how they had so much influence on public policy and how we eat today. And then when you see like nuts, like absolutely, like I feel like unhinged personally, and they were in charge of like a lot of the way that we eat now.
Yep.
Like it's.
Angie said bacon, for beef butter bacon, I include pork shoulder, Boston butt, and pork belly.
Both are fatty cuts.
Yeah, so the biggest problem, like Dr. Bear is talking about, like, why did he put bacon on there? Because it's bacon. But bacon, it's not that it's unhealthy. It doesn't have the same nutritional qualities as ruminant meat. The healthiest thing you will ever eat is ruminant meat and chicken eggs, or any kind of eggs, really, not just chicken eggs, but any eggs.
Because eggs is life.
Because eggs have all the vitamins and nutrients. Like when it develops into a chicken, you do lose some of that stuff, but eggs themselves are one of the healthiest things you can eat. The biggest problem with chickens, as we've talked about a little bit, it's not chicken overall. It's that chickens are really omnicarnivores. They eat mostly meat. Lots of bugs and things like that, but they'll eat anything. But a lot of the store-bought chicken, they're just fed scratch, they're just fed grains, and they're basically fed a vegetarian diet, which is not a proper chicken diet. They're pumped full of like dextrose and other things to fatten them up, and they're not, it's just, they can't process the crappy food that they're eating into a healthy food for us.
Right.
Whereas ruminant animals can take almost anything that's not healthy and turn it into healthy meat because of the way their rumen works. So if you want to eat chicken, the real thing is like, and again, we eat a lot of chicken, but it's just not as healthy as ruminant meat. It's also not as fatty. The best type of chicken is free range, but who's got money for that? That's why we're raising chickens, so we can do that, because a free range chicken's about $25 for a chicken. But the biggest problem with pork in itself is it's not fatty. And you want to eat fatty cuts of meat, and that's why these are like, you know, eating the Boston buck or the pork belly. Those are the good parts of it. John said they're blaming the fat for what sugar does.
It's very true.
I read that. Juliana said, I begged my mom for Cornish game heads as a tween for my birthday.
Aww.
I remember 100% that our family dinner had tiny chickens for dinner.
I think that is so stinking fun. I really do. It's hilarious for little kids as well because, you know, you can joke with them that you took the turkey and you put it in the shrinkometer and came out with like everybody gets their own little tiny turkey. Personally, right. I mean, it's just adorable. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Tina said, how do you make yourself eat? I'm having a hard time eating. I'm hardly ever hungry. I try, but I get nauseated if I eat more than one meal, which is usually not enough until supper, and can eat a small amount.
I would want to sit down with you in a coaching call because I want to see why is this the case. There can be a lot of different reasons. But we would probably have to get pretty personal, Tina, about why you can't eat and you're not usually hungry. So I would want to sit down. So if you want, reach out to us. You can go to twocrazyketos.com. In the drop down bar, there's like, you can sign up for coaching because that is such a big question. It's going to totally be determined by like so many more factors than what I'm seeing here. Just like, I can't eat. Okay, well, talk to me, because there's been different points in my life when I just couldn't eat, but there were very varied reasons. So I'd want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, and I would start off with decrease your meal size and eat a couple times a day. Everyone thinks that you need to only, like, the best thing to do is eat only one meal a day.
Eat like Rachel.
First of all, I'm of the opinion that for the most part, women should not be doing OMAD, especially long term, because you just can't get enough nutrition and it affects your hormones. But I would probably try to cut to eating 2 or 3 smaller meals, and then you can work from there. MB Davis said, my grandma had a rule of no politics or sports discussion at family get-togethers. It has continued to be a family tradition. Reminders may be necessary, but everybody tries to follow it.
And I think that that's a
I
good...
like the sports one. Because I think sports can create as much controversy as politics.
Oh my gosh. Like, I think about, like, Melissa Lane there. She's, like, a huge Steelers fan. If somebody comes in and, like, you know, she's got nephews that have gone to other colleges now and, you know, in different areas, so they're supporting other, you know, sports teams. Oh my goodness, it could be a war in that house if that is the case. But, like, yeah, I think that's really important. And, you know, whoever is hosting that meal, I think it's okay for them to say, you guys are so precious to me. Every single person who's around this family table is so precious to me. You are worth setting up boundaries for. Like, I'm setting up boundaries, not because I'm afraid that I'm going to have to argue my point and trying to be the champion of Thanksgiving as far as the debate team goes. Like, that's not it. It's that I want us to enjoy what makes us us, what's unique about our family. Everybody's got an opinion on politics. That's not unique. What's special about your family is those unique family memories and like all of the brilliancy, the talent, the love between you. That's unique. We get together to celebrate what makes this family our family.
Rush said they disagree. For a lot of people, that sentiment is true. Here's the thing, is like, they're beyond that. Like, I know not everybody, a lot of people want to eat just carnivore, and that's completely fine with me.
There's tons of people
but
that talk about
the second you go on
that.
and start saying, like, if you mix 2 different whole foods, that now it's a fake food, that's where my problem is. And it's a person just wants, and again, if you can get past the fact that we don't eat carnivore,
welcome,
because we're about community and trying to get everybody together. But I'm honestly tired of the divide within the keto space, that, like, if you're only keto, you're not good enough, that you have to be carnivore. And then in the carnivore space, there's like, well, my carnivore includes honey. And so, like, you know, and then you have another person, well, I don't have this. And then you have another person who's carnivore. Well, if you're doing any kind of dairy, then you're not really carnivore. First of all, dairy is carnivore. Then you get other people that go, oh, well, the only true carnivore is to eat the lion diet, and you can only have beef, or you can only have meat. I've literally seen people say if you eat anything other than lamb, then you're not really doing it right. And I'm so tired of the divide. If you're eating the proper human diet, which Dr. Berry states is under 100 total carbs, depending on where your metabolic health is, and you're eating mostly meat, then you're eating the proper human diet.
I am not.
I'm just tired of the divide.
Well, I don't think it's necessary for us to create a new religion, and I'm not interested in creating different denominations within that religion.
Right.
Right? So, like, okay, we eat food, we are fat fueled. If you are carnivore or you are keto, we are the same.
Right.
We are all fat fueled. If everybody wants to say, like, I'm a fat fueled person, then I'm on board with that, because
right.
that's going to be different. Like, people who are fat fueled, whose body authentically knows, yes, I get my energy from fat, not carbohydrates. That can be different. That can vary. You know, there
right.
can be people who are like super active, somebody that's like CrossFit trainers, you know, like some of the people in our family, like they can have more carbohydrates and still have that, you know, real like making ketones on their own like happen with maybe more carbohydrate intake than we do. Right. But I feel like fat fueled, I know we say the proper human diet is like the perfect word for it, but like if you want to get even more like centered, then what, you're either fat fueled or you're carbohydrate fueled. Boom, that's
right.
it. If you're a fat fueled person, we're brothers and sisters in this.
Listen, the real enemy is all the big food companies.
Well, sugar too.
I mean, but that comes back to the big food companies. I mean, again, so there's a picture going around of RFK with McDonald's,
right?
And you know he's talking about, and he responds to somebody's tweet who actually, is that what you call? Do you still call it a tweet?
I don't know.
So somebody put up a picture of him with the McDonald's, and he responded they tagged him, he responded, he goes, I would love to eat more McDonald's French fries if they can go back to beef tallow. McDonald's French fries have more than 90 ingredients to them.
That was not always the case.
Years ago, there were 3. French fries should have 3 ingredients. Potatoes,
salt,
tallow or some type of healthy fat, and salt. But McDonald's French fries, they switched. If you didn't know, years ago they were made with beef tallow,
and that's what.
And then you had a combination of it's cheaper to use seed oils, and also there was a big pushback from like the vegetarian community
in the 70s
to not use beef tallow. It's like you still get it with Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings gets a lot of pushback because they use beef tallow, and vegetarians can't eat anything that they say is cooked in that beef tallow.
Including French fries.
So they got this pushback, they switched to seed oils, but the problem was the beef tallow gave the French fries a beef flavor.
So they went to the natural, you know, flavors
it's all artificial flavoring. To
make something that smells like the beef tallow
and taste,
so that when because you're tasting with your nose. That's why a lot of times you get a cold and you're like, I can't taste anything. So all they have to do is have enough of the aroma, and it tricks your brain into thinking like, well, these fries have not changed at all. This is the same fries of yesteryear. No, they're not.
Yeah, so those are the companies. That's who we really need to be worried about. So instead of going against keto influencers, recipe creators who are creating recipes, and you're saying, well, that's not healthy enough, let's go after the companies like McDonald's.
Yeah. And
the companies that are pushing the crap in the stores. Before we get off, I did see this from Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Mary's kind eyes said, my name is Mary. I turned 76 this Saturday. Is it too late to wish me a happy birthday?
Oh, Mary, you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you, and many more. So many more. Happy birthday, Mary.
Oh, and tomorrow is Patty's birthday.
Ooh, let's go with Patty. Are you ready?
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patty. Happy birthday to you, and many more. Sorry I hit the back of your head, Joe. I love you so much.
Okay, we're going to get off. We will be back live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We love you guys.
Bye.